Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Haba. We're continuing in Mishna Berura, Daf Hashavua. We're learning Siman Nun Hey. We're still in the middle of Seif Aleph. We began that yesterday. The Mechaber said that you say Kaddish and you don't say it with less than 10 males who are free, who are of age, that they brought Shtei Sa'aros. And the same din would apply to Kedusha and Baruchu, that we don't say with less than 10 people. We're in the middle of Mishna Berura, Siv Katan Dalet, Gedolim. They have to be of age. Ayin Pri Chadash, Siman Samach Tes, Shekara Arar, Al Makom Shenogim Shakatan Omer Kaddish. He complains and challenges the custom of places that a katan would say Kaddish. Ubarchu v'akol oinim acharav. There shaloi kadin him oisim. That's not correct. How could a katan say Kaddish? Now, the Dirsha points out that later on in Siman Kuf Lamed Beis of Kata and Yud, the Mishna Berura says that the Kaddish after Aleinu, they were Mesakein for Yisoimim Ketanim because they can't be a Shech Tzibor and say Kaddish. Even little children could say this. Now we're talking about the Kaddish as part of Tzuras HaTfila. That's what we're talking about over here. And it's Shaloi Kedin, Vafilu Im Yesh Asar Anoshim Gedolim Chutz Mimenu. Even if there are 10 people besides them. Va'ayin Be'Prima Gadim Sham, look in the Prima Gadim there, Shem Tzaded Gamkin Lahachmer Bazal Charchila. Prima Gadim is also inclined to be Machmer. Kasav V'Halachos Ketanois Simem Ches. Kesheshnayim or Shloisha Imrim Kaddish Yachad. When 2 or 3 people say Kaddish together, V'Achad Makdim. And one guy's, you know the guy, he's always a little bit ahead. If they're all within, a few moments of a time frame, Yana em harishain, answer either with the first guy, or Amen, v'yalakulam, and it works for everyone. Don't say Amen, 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 Amen. In other words, you answer once, either with the first guy or the last guy. Vim yesh hefsik. And if there's an interruption between the Kaddeishim, you can answer on each one. Because sometimes you have a guy with the Kaddish, he's really lagging. He's reading the transliterator, Ba'gala. Okay? It's very nice, he's saying the Kaddish, but he's lagging. So you're going to answer Amen, Amen, and then a few seconds later you're going to answer Amen to his Kaddish. Adam hanoitzaydei. What?
What if it's 2 different amens? One is so behind by the previous amen. Is that a problem to say amen once for the both of them?
Oh, you mean and it's at the same time?
They get to amen at the same time, but they're at different points of Kaddish. It happens all the time.
Right. We had that before, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. I have to look back again. Whether you say amen v'amen. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, but this is very relevant. Adam hanoitza idei sefer yitzira. Let's say, you have 9 people, and you need to create somebody through a sefer yitzira. I had to do this all the time. In mitzdarif la'asara, could you use this guy for a minyan? Ulechol davar shebekedusha, ayin b'tshuvas chacham tzvi siman tzadi gimel, uvesefer ikrei dinim asher kasa b'zeh. Can a goylam count as a minyan? So Lamaisa, the Chacham Tzvi is Mesupik. He paskins, it's not Mitzdaref. And Chazonish says, it would seem that he does not have the Zechus of a Yid. And it could be he's not even a Ben Adam. Others argue and say that if you created him, it's like Ilu Yoladai. The Tazel, right? Let's say you have 9 people, one guy's talking. Don't have a minyan. He's not Mitzdaref to a minyan. He's less than a Goylam. Okay, Siv Katan, hey. So by the way, you could have 500 people in the shul and you're still not davening with the minyan. Yeah, all you need is 10 people who are not talking. Siv Katan, hey. Vu'adin l'kedusha. The same thing would apply for kedusha. Vu'adin l'chol chazar sashatz. The same thing would apply for chazar sashatz, shetzar chasara, the mikri davar shebekdusha. Chazar Sashatz is considered Davar Kedusha. Mnei HaKedusha Sheyeshba because of the Kedusha in it. So that's from the Gemara Megillah, Chav Gimel on the Ran. Ein Poichasin Mishiva Kaddeishim B'chol Yom. You should not have less than 7 Kaddeishim daily. Keneged Sheva Bayoim Hilal Ticha. What are they? Hainu. Echad Achar Psuke de Zimrat. Shu Achar Yishtabach. This is what we mentioned earlier, that the Kaddish after Mizmar Shir in the beginning of Psuke de Zimra is not Me'ikar Atfila. It's just a way to get the Avelim to come on time to Shul. So that's not counted as well. So one is after Yishtabach. V'asheni Chatzi Kaddish Achar Tfila Shmana Esrei Brachos, or after Tachna. Number 3 is Shlishi Achar Seder Kedusha. And in that Uvayamim Gamkin Tiskabel Tzloisain Shushach Gamkin L'Tfila Shmana Esrei. Uravi Achar Aleinu Sheish Bayamiras Psukim. V'chamishi Achar Ashrei B'mincha. V'shishi Achar Tfilas Mincha. Shvi after Kriya Shema Shel Arvis before Shmana Esrei. So a few things we could ask. What about the Kaddish before Marav? That's also not part of the Tefillah. That's not Me'ikar Tefillah. Nusach Ashkenaz does not say it. It doesn't count. It's not part of the davening. So the 7th is the Kaddish after Berchas Kriya Shema, before Shemona Esrei. Now what about Kaddish after Mincha? Why does he only count Kaddish before Ashrei by Mincha, after Ashrei by Mincha, and after Mincha? What about after Aleinu? That he doesn't mention, even though he mentions it by Shachris. L'chayra, it's because Aleinu is not Me'ikar Hatfila of Mincha Marav. You hear this? L'chayra, the reason why the Mishna Berura only says a Kaddish after Aleinu of Shachris and not after Aleinu Mincha Marav, because technically it's not. Aleinu is not part of Mincha Marav. The Ramah writes you should say Aleinu after Shachris. The Mishna Berura brings from the Arizal, say it after Mincha Marav. So we say it, but it's not Me'ikar Tzuras Hatfila. So Rabbi say, what's the nafkamina? The nafkamina is, if let's say a person says, I either could miss Aleinu after Shachris or Aleinu after Mincha, it's better to miss Aleinu after Mincha than after Shachris. In other words, you got to run out early. Don't run out early after Shachris. Don't run out. Make sure you're there for Aleinu after Shachris. Make sure you're there for the Kaddish after Aleinu after Shachris, because that's one of the Ikrei Kaddeishim. But Aleinu and Kaddish after Mincha Mariv, not. The Kaddish Sha'achar. Now, here's the $1 million question. Why does the Mishna Berura not count Kaddish after Shemona Esrei Mariv? What happened to that Kaddish? That you say to Skabel. The Kaddish Sha'achar Tfilas Arvis Aftu Gam Ke Mitzvah Loi Kachashvin B'chal Ela Shiva. Why Ayin Sham B'Levush Hatam? What does the Levush says? That the Kaddeishim after Shachris and Mincha are Chiyuvim after Arvis is Rishus. Why? Because Marav is Rishus. So you say, well then, why do you say it before Shemona Esrei? Meaning, what's the difference between the Kaddish before Marav and the Kaddish after? It seems from the Lavush that even though we've accepted Marav as a chayva, and therefore the Kaddish before Shemona Esrei is part of the 7, the Kaddish after is not part of the 7.
Maybe because there's no Chazaras Hashatz.
But we still say Tiskabel Tzoloisain, right? So l'chayr is going on the silent Shemona Esrei. I hear. So you want to say that it's only a chiyuv when there's Chazaras Hashatz. Oh, listen carefully to what the Levush says. When we say Marav is a Rishus, right? This is interesting. Marav is a Rishus, but Kriya Shema Shel Arvis is not a Rishus, and L'chayra Birchas Kriya Shema then is not a Rishus. So therefore, the Kaddish before is not a Rishus. Mashein Kein Shemona Esrei is a Rishus. So even though we accept it as a Chayva, and therefore we accept the Kaddish as a chayva, but the Kaddish is l'chayra arashus. Let's begin a little bit Sif Beis. Im hischal loymar Kaddish. What?
How are the Kaddish Yassim considered part of the Chiyuv and Tefillah? What if there's no Yassim there? How do you count? Well, this counting includes some of those Kaddeishim.
It counts Kaddish after Aleinu. They're just the one after Aleinu of Shachris.
Right, so isn't that Kaddish Yassim, Kaddish Rabban?
They're Masakin, Kaddish Yasim. I mean,
if there's no Yassim in the show, so we're lacking a Kaddish for the day.
Yeah. Also, if you don't have a minyan, you're lacking a lot of Kaddeishim, right? You know? I guess that's what it seems like. Okay, Sif Beis. Im hischel loymar Kaddish or Kedusha ba'asar v'yatzim l'ksasin. You started with a minyan and some left. Goimrim oisay Kaddish. You could complete that Kaddish, oisa ha-Kedusha, or that Kedusha shehischel v'hu shenashtay ruban, provided that most of the people are remaining. Says Mishna Berura, im hischel, v'hu adin b'chol davar shetzar chasar. The same thing, anything that you need 10 people. Kagoin nesias kapayim, let's say duchening, ukriyas hatar leining, v'atar benavi. Goimrim kamash shayach le'inyan zeh. You could complete anything connected to this inyan, kivan shekvar eschilu by basara, since you began it with 10. Avaloi maschila mashu inyan acher, but you can't begin something new. So what if you knew, guy told you, I'm leaving at 9:35, and the laning started at 9:32. Are you allowed to start? Says the Ben Ish Chai, you cannot start. Now I'll tell you, I didn't know that. I have relied on the fact I would tell people, just come, they say I have to leave early. Said, do what you got to do, just start us off. But the Ben Ish Chai says, if you know that they're going to leave, you can't start. However, Reb Vosner says, if you don't have any other minyan, you're allowed to start. If you have another minyan, you shouldn't start. However, he says, if they don't daven in this shul, they're not going to daven with the minyan, you're allowed to rely on it. By the way, when we say that you can't start a new thing, that means if you laned and then you lost the minyan, you cannot continue with the haftarah. The haftarah is inyan acher. It's not nigrar after the kriyas haTorah. If you started the brachas on the haftarah and some people left, the Mishna Berura says later on you could continue, read the whole haftarah with the brachas after. The Mishna Berura says, let's say on a tainis tzibur, you started off Chazar Hashatz, you were 10 Mesanim, and then some people left before the shots got to Anenu. He should not say Anenu as a separate bracha, he should say it as a bracha in Shemei Tefillah. But if he started Anenu, he could finish it. The Mishna Berura says Slichos, if you started Slichos and some people left, you're allowed to say Kaddish with Tiskabel after the Slichos. But what doesn't seem to be consistent with that is Reb Chaim Kanievsky says that if you lost the minyan, you can't say another Yud Gimel Midas Harachmim. L'chayra, according to the Mishna Berura, maybe you could argue you could be able to. Okay, let's hold it over here. With your permission, let's do tomorrow, okay? Because I'm not sure my schedule next week. So tomorrow, regular time, 9 o'clock. Have a good day, everyone. Kol tov.
I can ask, you said that Kaddish won't in the Zimmer, it's made just for the Avelim. I daven in places where only the Maltzilis says the Kaddish.